Greetings. This is Arvette McLean with Speak, The Universe Listens. New ways to view age-old challenges. Change your thoughts, change your life. Step into the bigness of you.
Hey, yo. Hey. So I was thinking, randomly thinking, just what are some of the hats I wear in life that I don't give myself credit for? And so it had me thinking, a lot of times we wait till something looks like we want it to look or looks ideal or before we acknowledge that we're that or we're doing that or that we accomplished that. And so, it just had me thinking, I got a TV show out now. It's I'm not an executive producer of a TV show when it hits NBC or ABC. No, I'm that now. And it just had me just thinking about all the different titles I wear, the things I've accomplished, this and that. It just had me thinking about all of that. And so I'm asking y'all, posing that question to y'all. What are some of the titles and hats y'all wear that y'all don't usually acknowledge regularly or at all or ever?
I would say it's I'm a therapist, but not an actual therapist. You know what I'm saying? An actual therapist. I can listen to people and give people good advice. At the same token, wow, I'm taking, my own advice and still working on myself and not even really realizing as I'm learning and I'm sharing what I'm learning that it's actually helping people, at the same time. So I don't really give myself that much credit.
I'm gonna hop on that because one time my mom was in school. She was in school in Atlanta, in Georgia, and I had went to pick her up. And that weekend, that was their graduation weekend, but they had to do certain tasks before they graduate. So they had to, I guess, different people had different things they had to do. But I ended up being one of the guinea pigs, and so the person had to, I guess, do a reading. Maybe a psychic reading or something like that. And so when they were reading me, they were like, okay, so you're a therapist or whatever. And I was like, not really. I said, I could say yes in the past, but right now, no. And they were like, no, yeah, you are. I see you going around in circles. You're going around in circles and you're a therapist. And I was like, no, whatever. So anyway, that was that. So then I went to another person that I was a guinea pig for. And they were saying, I can't remember what they were saying, but basically they were like, so when you go exercise in the mornings, you walk around a track and you talk to people? I was like, yes.
The circles.
I do. I walk in circles. And I would get to the track at 5 in the morning. I wouldn't leave until after 10. And I would go in circles and I would go around the track and then someone would join in. And then I would listen to that person's problems or whatever for about 2 laps, and then somebody else would join in. That person would then leave, and I'd listen to that person's problem, and then that person would leave. And I could not get off the track for 5 hours a day, every day, and I was just literally in service to all the people.
Come step in my office. I'll take a walk.
You get 2 laps.
I think I actually love this question because one, I feel like this is something that I do often. I feel like I very often, one, don't acknowledge the things I do, and then 2, I have a very distinct talent of downplaying most of the things I do that I want to get better at not doing. Like, so it is, a prime example is like broadcasting. Like, I've now been broadcasting for 5, 6, 7+ years. And it's like, for some reason, I never lead with that in a conversation. I'll tell people I enjoy podcasts. I'll tell people I have a podcast, but do I ever call myself a podcaster or a broadcaster? No, and I think that that's a hat that I do wear, and I enjoy doing it, and I wear it proudly. So yeah, I think that broadcast is my answer, and I love this topic because I really want to do better at not downplaying the things I do. Or like, an example would be somebody will ask me to do something, and I'll do it, and then I'll go, oh, that was nothing. But like, no, yeah, it might have been nothing, but also it was something. So like, also acknowledge what it was. And so yeah, this has been a big one for me.
And you know what I love about this conversation too is it brought me in a space of appreciating myself and like being so grateful just for being me. And it's like imagine if you acknowledged every I don't want to say great thing, but just everything you do and every hat you wear, and you acknowledge it, and you like, okay, I can listen to people, and I can give them great advice, and I'm great at listening, and so I'm a little bit of a therapist, somebody would say. And imagine if you acknowledge yourself as, I don't want to say an expert, but as a great in whatever that hat is, how much appreciation you give yourself by doing that, just by, you know, hey, I'm a community leader. I done this and that. I done spoke to children. I done done all these things, and it's like, think of how much more I would appreciate just me if I acknowledge those things on a regular, and not just when it looks like how I think it's supposed to look, and not just when it's, you know, way up. Like, you know, imagine if I acknowledge these things every day and how great I would feel about myself.
Absolutely. I remember, I don't know what I was doing. I think I was like running marathons. I don't know, like exercise type of stuff. And I know I had started training for a triathlon. And this was going to be my first one. So I was like kind of learning how to swim. And so it would be like a lot of kids in the pool. And so when we would come, me and my little swim people, you know, that we were doing a triathlon together. It was about 4, maybe 5 of us together training. So when we would come, they would clear the lanes so that we could have a lane to work in, and the kids would be on this side. And so one day when we came, the people were like, the athletes are here, the athletes are here, clear the lanes. And I was like, the athletes? And I had never seen myself as an athlete. And I said, I'm going to start embracing that. I'm an athlete.
I like this too because, okay, I ran a little story for y'all. I remember being in high school and telling everybody, you know, I just want to be a teacher. I was gung-ho on being a teacher, a history teacher to be exact. I was like, look, all this math stuff, I don't really need it too much. I'm going to teach history in a couple years. This is all I need. Got to Longwood University. They call it the School of Teachers. Got there, didn't want to be a teacher. I was like, don't like this. Switched my major up completely. Go on to start living life and doing whatever. We're literally having a conversation 3 minutes before we start recording this, and I'm reminded again that, no, I am a teacher. And that was gratifying, one, and then two, also like, yeah, like, no, you are a teacher, and look at you. You had that dream as a kid, and you stuck with that dream, you just changed the way that it looked. And that was the beauty. And it's like, you know, I still do get to teach every day, even though I didn't want to teach towards a test. So I think about that all the time. I'm like, man, you know, even the things that we say that we are, we just need to really lean into it and fully acknowledge that, because that's exactly what we are, whatever we decide that we want to be in that moment. So thank y'all for that.
And something both of y'all said was that reminded me, it's almost like the flip side of this, is a lot of times we'll say something like, if I had enough money, I would do this, or I can't do what I want to do yet because of X, Y, and Z. Maybe I have children, or, you know, maybe I got this job to do, or I'm in my living situation is bad. Whatever the situation, a lot of times we'll say, I can't do what I want to do. And the truth is, you can do what you want to do at any time. So let's just say if you wanted to be a writer and you're like, I can't write because my environment is chaotic, you know, there's no quiet space or whatever, but you can still take a moment and write. Or if you want to paint, you can take a moment. It may not be on the scale that it is in your head, like I want to paint, but you might can paint here. And then when you start owning the title, I'm a painter, the more you own that title, the more you lean into that title, the larger your canvas will become. Yeah. And by the same token, the more you say, I can't do it,
The more you can't do
the more you can't do it.
I think about a conversation I used to have with you, and I used to be like, yeah, I know this and I know that, but people ain't gonna listen to me until they can see it, like they can see something. And you used to always try to tell me like, no, like you speaking now is what people need, like you going through the journey, like all of that. And so that reminded me of this conversation. Like a lot of times we don't put the say the title or put the head on because we like, nah, I gotta get it to this point first. Yeah. When it's like, nah, if you a painter and you starting from this little piece of paper, I want to see the journey from all the way to you selling $1,000 like, you know what I'm saying? So it's like we, like y'all said, leaning into it and wearing it now and wearing it proud now, so to speak, is I think it helps you in the long run and others around you too.
And I liked it when pertaining to this conversation, I like when people outside of you start titling or labeling you something that you didn't really think of yourself as. Like
that feels good.
That's the best feeling. Like I ain't gonna lie. Like in my normal day-to-day life, I don't think I like technology too much. However, whenever somebody says like, you know, the tech guy, I'm like, yeah, that's me. I'm the tech guy who computer needs some fixing. So I think about that all the time, because especially with that particular one, because that happens to me so often. So many times some people go, yeah, well, you know, I just don't really understand this technology stuff or whatever, you know. So I just asked Teron and, you know, he'd kind of figure it out. And I just think to myself, like, man, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just pressing a couple buttons and it happened to go this way. But it's like, no, like, I guess I am a tech expert. Like, if every time I go click on these things, it does what we needed to do, you gotta own it. So I love when people remind you of the other hats that you wear. I think is the way I want to word it.
That reminded me of podcasting. I had a lady that I didn't even know was paying attention, but she messaged me. It's like, hey, I want you to help me start a podcast. I'm like, okay. She like, yeah, I know you're an expert in it. And I'm like, oh, I am? Yeah, all right. But it made me feel good that, one, she was seeing what we were doing and seeing me as that, and two, that she felt good enough about me to reach out and for me to help her. So yeah, that felt good. Like you said, just people acknowledging titles and things that you don't normally even view as that. Like, we started this just out of wanting to share this message and the love of it, and for somebody to say, I want you to help me start because you're the expert in this. You've been doing this for such and such time. It felt good. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I don't think we got to ask you. What's that hat that you wear?
A lot. Therapist, community leader, I would say, a teacher. I didn't think about that till your conversation. Like I said, a TV show producer. It's a lot of hats, yeah. Yeah, it's a lot of things that I don't acknowledge, and lately I've been trying to get better about just pumping myself up, like, yo, you that dude, man. Like, yo, like, you done a lot. Like, a lot. You done a lot. And it might be because my birthday coming up, turning 30, I'm reflecting a lot. But I'm just like, yo, you've done so much to be proud of already. And yeah, so that just been my thing lately. Like just like this helped me just like, you know, appreciate me being me. Like just appreciate everything I am and everything I'm going to become later too. So yeah. Well, thank y'all for discussing this with me.
Yeah, now you do the awkward goodbye.
Thank y'all for talking about this with me though. It was something that randomly came to me, and I'm glad it did. Yeah, I'm glad y'all read it.
I'm glad it did too, because it did like make me think about, what are some things that this is me, but I just never acknowledged. So yeah.
And it's like every day you can add something. So it's like, yeah.
Well, thank y'all.
Thank you.
And thank you guys for joining us. And hopefully you are thinking about some of the hats that you wear on a regular basis and things that you've done over the years, which is what Rodney just mentioned. And I'm like, okay, and if I go back over the years, that's a whole different ball game. So yeah, if you give it some thought, you might be surprised what you come up with. So we look forward to meeting with you again next week. Until then, this is Arvette.
Teron.
Rodney.
Bye, y'all.